They walk into a room, and within minutes, they have noticed what everyone else will miss entirely. The unspoken tension between two people, the smile that doesn't reach the eyes, the person in the corner who needs to be seen but hasn't asked to be. They see everything, and carrying everything is exhausting. After the gathering ends and everyone goes home feeling light and socially satisfied, they go home full of observations, emotional residue, patterns they noticed, things nobody said, but everyone felt. They need hours alone just to process what others didn't even register. Some people don't just see the world, they see through it. Through the surface, through the performance, through the carefully managed presentations people make of themselves, down to what is actually there. This is the psychology of people who are too aware. Trait 1. They notice what nobody else notices. The slight hesitation before someone says they're fine. The way a person's posture changes when a specific topic comes up. The micro expression that flashes across a face before the composed version appears. These are not things they try to notice. They simply cannot not notice them. Trait 2. They feel other people's emotions as their own. This is not metaphor. When someone near them is anxious, they feel anxious. When someone is grieving, the grief enters them without permission. They don't just understand emotions intellectually, they inherit them through proximity. Empathy this deep is both a profound gift and an exhausting reality. Trait 3. They overthink every interaction afterward. The conversation ended an hour ago. Everyone else has forgotten it. They are still inside it, replaying each word, each pause, each ambiguous moment. Did they say the right thing? What did that silence mean? They process interactions the way other people process major life events. Trait 4. They spot inauthenticity immediately. They cannot be fooled by a performance, not because they are cynical, but because they are calibrated. They feel the difference between what is genuine and what is managed within seconds of meeting someone. And once they've seen the mask, they cannot unsee it. Trait 5. They process deeply before they speak. While others talk quickly and think later, they think completely before they speak at all. They are measuring words, considering perspectives, finding the most honest and precise expression of what they mean. What looks like quietness is actually a deep mind doing careful work. Trait 6. They are deeply uncomfortable with surface level. Small talk feels like a foreign language, not because they are antisocial, but because they are built for depth. And surface conversations feel like standing in a doorway when you desperately need to be inside. They want to ask how you actually are, not how you are performing. Trait 7. They need solitude to refuel, not to isolate. After absorbing the emotional weight of other people, they require genuine alone time to decompress, sort, and restore. This is not introversion for its own sake. It is a neurological necessity. Solitude is where the processing completes and the person becomes whole again. Trait 8. They carry the weight of things unsaid. They notice what people don't express. They absorb what nobody acknowledges. They walk through the world carrying observations, emotions, and truths that were never their responsibility to hold, but that they hold anyway, because awareness doesn't come with an off switch. And here is what this costs them daily: mental exhaustion that others can't see, difficulty switching off when everyone else has moved on, the persistent feeling of being misunderstood, absorbing other people's moods like a sponge with no way to wring out, overthinking decisions until the window closes, and rarely, almost never, feeling truly seen by someone else in return. Perhaps the loneliest feeling they know is being in a room full of people, seeing everything, feeling everything, understanding everyone, and still feeling like the only one operating at this particular frequency. Surrounded, and somehow still alone in what they notice. They turn the same awareness inward. They examine themselves with the same perceptive intensity they apply to everything else, which means they see their own inconsistencies, their own contradictions, their own gaps with the same clarity they see everyone else's. The awareness doesn't spare them. It never does. Sometimes the volume of everything they absorb becomes genuinely overwhelming. It is not drama. It is saturation. A mind that processes at this depth, that feels at this breadth, occasionally reaches a point where the input exceeds the processing capacity. And they need to sit quietly in the noise until it settles. But here is what they don't always get told. What looks like a burden from the inside is something extraordinary from the outside. The same sensitivity that exhausts them is the very quality that makes them irreplaceable in the lives of the people lucky enough to be truly known by them. Because what hyper-awareness actually is, beneath the exhaustion and the overwhelm, is a gift. The gift of deep empathy, the gift of extraordinary perception, the gift of pattern recognition that most people will never access, the gift of moral clarity that comes from feeling the weight of things deeply. These are not small gifts. These are rare ones. What feels like too much is actually extraordinary emotional intelligence. What feels like a burden is actually a depth of humanity that most people never reach. What feels like being broken is actually being finely tuned to a frequency that most people simply cannot hear. The reframe is not denial, it is accuracy. If this video described you, if you recognized yourself in every single trait, I want you to hear this directly and clearly. You were never too much. You were never broken. You were never wrong for seeing what you see and feeling what you feel. You were always exactly enough. You were always exactly this, rare. Does this describe you? Tell us in the comments. We want to hear your experience. Because being too aware can feel profoundly isolating. And sometimes the most powerful thing is simply knowing that other people share your frequency. Being too aware is not a flaw. It is a frequency. And not everyone can hear it, but you can. And that changes everything.